preference. My name's Josh. I'm here today with good buddy Adam.
Indeed.
And today we're going to be talking about the newest video game, Confirmation Hearings 2K25. And we'll get into it. But before we do, if you want to go follow us, you can follow us on social media at Game Rage Magazine on Twitter. Game Rage Magazine on Instagram, TikTok. Fuck, man, TikTok's going to be dead in a couple of days. I should probably not even bother saying that one anymore.
You gonna hop on the Red Note train?
Absolutely not. I'll tell you right now. Okay, we'll talk about that first in a second. Let me finish the plug, but we'll talk about the Red Note in a second. Maybe we should do a separate episode about that. I don't know if I have enough to carry a whole episode, but I have a rant to go on about that, I guess. But anyway,
I feel like if we don't, it's possible that this thing could be its own segment for this episode,
or it could just be its own episode.
But
you know what, you might be right.
If we find out that it's longer, I don't know.
No,
maybe it's just gonna be an extra jam-packed episode. Who the fuck knows?
Who the fuck knows? I don't know. Fuck, man. We should probably just do our fuck. We're gonna make a separate episode about it because that I think that does deserve its own topic because that has nothing to do with Senate confirmation hearings. So fuck it. We'll do our own. Listen to that episode, the next one, on our thoughts on the Red Note TikTok ban. Anyways, go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and I guess just YouTube now. Also, Game Rage Mag on Twitter /X. You can follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram, and you can follow him on YouTube there as well. You can also follow him on Substack.com / at All Gas No Trash Official, and you can check out all of his deliciously autistic articles that he writes.
That's a way to put it.
It is a way to put it. So getting into this, actually, I want to just find if they have the schedule yet, which I don't think they have a lot of them scheduled, which is also a little concerning. I just want to start this episode off by saying I didn't watch every fucking single minute of them, but I watched quite a bit of them.
How many were there today?
Today there were two. Yesterday it was just the one, and then today we had two separate ones. And I don't know if they're like concluded or if there's more to come. I don't know. It's very, very fucking confusing. But essentially, I'm very concerned now. I was like kind of didn't give a fuck, but there's a lot of concerning language that has come out of this fucking thing that I don't know if a lot of people have really picked up on. I know what they were trying to go for, but like, I don't think people are fucking getting the message because it started off with Pete Hegseth, who is the guy that's being the nominee for Secretary of Defense. All right. Now, just to give you a little background about this guy, Pete Hegseth was a major, okay, in the Army National Guard. All right. So commissioned officer, okay, major is on the officer scale is 04, okay, which in the military general or in the military officer ranking system, there's 10 ranks, 01 through 010, okay? And basically he didn't even make it halfway through, okay? So a major I'll just use the U.S. Army because I think it's the similar deal as it is in the National Guard because it's like similarly structured, like it's based off the Army. And so a major in the Army essentially. Oh, wait a minute. Where was it? God damn it, major. Well, anyway, before I get into that, that's what he did, and then he ended up getting kicked out because he had a tattoo that it was a Celtic cross, which had been previously classified as like a neo-Nazi like hate symbol. And so the Army, like, they there was this whole deal and like this whole thing, and then they ended up like, I don't know if it's like they didn't kick him out per se, but they like didn't renew his contract or whatever.
So he wasn't dishonorably discharged.
I don't know if that was actually if he was I don't know if there's any information on that. Let me just look it up real quick because I'm just curious to know if he actually got fully removed. But he was in the Minnesota Army National Guard. Is the specific unit that he was, as a
So what's the I don't know.
Oh, he served at the Guantanamo Bay Naval Base when they were torturing people in 2004 to 2005. That's interesting.
With all those parties and beating all those prisoners, taking pictures of them naked.
Great. He also was a capital markets analyst at Bear Stearns, which Bear Stearns was one of the major financial institutions that was responsible for the 2008 fucking collapse of financial markets.
Feels good, man. Enron.
Yeah, all that crazy nonsense.
Wait. When was Enron?
Enron was in the late 90s.
Yeah.
So he basically has essentially been in and out of the military service during his whole career. And so that's not like a weird thing to have done, but during his in-between times, like he ran a lot of these political action committees and things with like trying to, help with the VA or whatever in these like advocacy groups. And he ended up basically getting like fired from all of them because he would be drunk on the job or he'd be sexually harassing fucking like women and like, and he claims that he kept saying the whole time they were questioning about this, like, oh, this is just a smear campaign. But like, it's pretty well documented. Like, I mean, I don't know if it's a smear campaign. Sure, maybe them bringing this shit up again from like 10 and 15 years ago or like 5 years ago, as late as some of them. Maybe that's like, a hit campaign or whatever. But
dude, at this point, what this newly sworn in government, so to speak, or potentially sworn in figures that are going to be part of the new government. Mm-hmm. Reality is not something that matters at this point. You can throw evidence at people about your background and all this shit. What the fuck does it matter? We basically live in a fucking banana republic. So
true.
What does it matter if they bring up that he was sexually harassing people at the VA? Or you said he was working at the VA?
He was working for advocacy groups. He was leading a bunch of advocacy groups like that were trying to advocate for like veterans and shit like stuff.
Well, anyways, my point still stands that, man, at this point, who gives a shit? I mean, with this, how many votes do you need? You just need a simple majority to take your position. So he's going to be.
Oh yeah, no, he'll for sure probably get confirmed. So what it doesn't look like they actually booted him out. They just told him like, so he was working at the DC Army National Guard during the whole January 6th fucking deal.
Oh.
And so he volunteered to go to that thing. And then while he was there during that whole like time frame after the January 6th deal happened, he basically like was in one of the units, and someone who was like the security manager for like that army unit, they saw that he had a tattoo on his bicep that said Deus Vult, which basically means God wills it is what it means. But it's been associated with like it's in memes and shit, right? But it's, I guess as of late it's probably been more associated with like
white nationalism,
white supremacists or whatever, to like invoke this idea of like a white Christian nationalism.
Yeah.
And and then he also had the Jerusalem cross tattoo, which has for sure been connected to extremism. With that, which whatever. I mean, it is what it is. But
what is the scope of the National Guard itself? It's just taking care of domestic problems.
Yeah, but they also deploy them to like combat zones if they need extra people. So like those guys go to Iraq and shit.
Okay.
So
But they're more of like the reserves compared to the other.
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there are full-time guard positions. Like, you can be in full-time in the National Guard. There are positions for that.
Gotcha.
So, anyways. So, essentially, a lot of the shit that he was saying in this thing would lead someone to believe that he is like a super white Christian nationalist, because he kept invoking God loves me and Jesus loves, and like all this weird religious shit, right? And about how God says this. So one of the fucking senators asked him, hey, just out of curiosity, can you like tell me if, and this isn't the SCN thing, this is, can you, if President Trump gave you an unlawful order, would you follow it? And he refused to answer the question. He just said, well, first of all, President Trump doesn't give illegal orders. That's what he responded with.
Well, I mean, it's technically true. I mean, he's been given free permission to do whatever the fuck he wants. So technically nothing's illegal.
I mean, you're right. That's true in this sense. But the unlawful order being like, hey, we need you to go, and there's people protesting my presidency. Just go shoot them all. And well, here's where that's concerning, because there's a case for that, because this guy and Trump were talking about, oh, they want to pardon all these like these war criminals or whatever, dudes that have been convicted of war crimes, in our own service guys, and they're by saying, oh, we're gonna back the warfighter now. We're not gonna be having 85 people. And he brought up this thing about how, like, you know, we won fucking World War II with 7 generals, right? We don't need 150 or 200 generals, which, sure, maybe a case could be made for that, but we were also in a full-scale fucking war and everyone was drafted. So, like, that, we only needed 7 fucking generals to fucking run this shit, all right? It wasn't like we needed all what we got now. We've expanded. We've become bigger. Sure, I'm sure there's some fucking extra shit that we don't need or whatever, right? But him saying that they're going to get rid of, he said we are going back to having only 7 generals basically in charge of shit, and that's it. And to me, that is troublesome, because, well, anybody who would say, hey, I'm not going to follow this unlawful order that you gave me to kill civilians, well, all those people are going to be gone. The 7 that they're going to keep are, I'm sure the questions they're going to ask are, if we told you to kill civilians, would you question it or would you just do it? And if the ones that say, oh, we'll just do it, hey, cool, well, you could be one of these 7 generals then. That's like my thought process, because this dude is clearly, with the way he was talking about Trump too, and like basically sucking dick, he was sucking Trump's dick on this whole thing. And I'm like, yo, man, I get it. Like, you're the guy who's the nominee, so like, yeah, you're gonna be like, you know, quote unquote, maybe loyal or whatever the case is. But this is like to a different, complete level that's very fucking problematic. And I was thinking, like, this is the dude that's gonna be sending people to come kill me because I'm speaking out against something or whatever. They're going to be the ones that come fucking pick me up and take me to jail or whatever, right? Like, and he basically just, by the non-answer of, oh, well, President Trump can never give illegal orders. Oh, okay. So whatever orders he gives you are legal orders. Yep. So you're going to follow them. Yep. Okay. Well, if Trump tells you to shoot civilians, I guess you're just going to do it. They also asked him, again, knowledge questions. And what was funny is this one senator tried to cover up for shit. So they asked him about the ASEAN thing, right? The treaty that's with the Southeast Asian nations, the Alliance of Southeast Asian Nations, okay? And they asked him to name some of the countries in there. And he fucking didn't even...
He named Australia,
yeah, Australia,
Japan,
yeah.
I think like South Korea.
Yeah, which are not. None of them are in that.
No.
So he doesn't really understand or know, obviously, things in the whole geopolitical spectrum. But another senator tried to cover up, or a representative tried to cover up and say, oh, hey, let me ask you some knowledge questions. And he's like, yeah, what's the diameter of the bullet out of an M4 whatever? Oh, it's 5.56. Oh, what's the caliber in the Army standard issue handgun? Oh, 9mm. Oh, okay, cool. And he was asking him like these basic things. And then also, I will say this. This was very, very strange. They asked him about like PT or something like that. Or he asked him, how many push-ups can you do? And he said, I did 5 sets of 47 this morning. And I do that every morning. Why would you do 47? Is it because Trump is the 47th president? That is some cult fucking shit right there. That is some weird cult mentality. Because to me, there's an infinite number of numbers you could have said that you do. Why would you not just say, I do 50? Why would you fucking specify 47? Because it's a nod to fucking, I wake up every day and I look at the picture I have of Trump on the wall and I do 47 push-ups in his honor, 5 sets of 47 because he's the 47th president and he's our commander-in-chief, 5-star general. Like, that's why I do these things, is basically how I took it as. And I'm like, that's very fucking strange. That's some cultish shit, and I don't like that. Especially with the guy who's essentially the top civilian in charge of the military, right below the president, obviously. I think that's very problematic. Ultra super Christian nationalist, diehard fucking like loyalist to Trump. This has the makings for a fucking straight up coup. All right, like to just take it over. I don't know. Maybe I'm being paranoid.
Or Crusades.
Yeah, we may bring back the Crusades. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, we wouldn't bring them back because America never did them. But like, we would do our own American Crusades. But either way, I'm very concerned now. With this. Mind you, this is just the Secretary of Defense. This is just one fucking thing that this guy doesn't seem to know, and that's the other thing. Okay,
who are they picking for Attorney General?
That's this Pam Bondi lady.
Oh, okay.
And so
they grilled her too.
Yeah, and oh shit, there's a major command. That was what I wanted to know because I don't remember what the number is. I think. Okay, so a major in the U.S. military typically commands a company unit, okay, which is 60 to 200 dudes. Okay, they could be a staff officer at a battalion level and maybe kind of be in charge of 300 to 1,000 people. So at max, a major would be in charge of 1,000 people, right? Well, the entire fucking Department of Defense is like several 100,000 people. So I don't really know, like, because when you had past Secretary of Defenses, like you had General fucking Jim Mattis, okay? Like he was literally in charge of the fucking Iraq and whatever, the whole Middle East at one point. Like that's a dude that, okay, he like has experience in running this shit. I don't think this guy fucking knows what he's doing, man. He doesn't have that. And like, I would understand you not having the experience, and that's okay. That's one thing. That's not everything. But then to be asked like general knowledge questions about geopolitical shit that you're gonna have to fucking be aware of, and you don't know the answer or get even anywhere close to it, that's a fucking problem. And I feel like this dude's gonna be out there causing more problems than he fixes, all right? And that's and I don't think he's there. I don't think he's there to actually fix problems. I think he's there to just be essentially, hey, whatever the fuck I tell you to do, you're gonna fucking do, okay? Okay, Fox News boy? You're going to do what the fuck I tell you to do. And that's why he's secretary, because when they went down the list of people to pick, if you look at past secretaries of defense, sure, Donald Rumsfeld is maybe like a fucking anomaly, but you've got, Colin Powell, you've got like all these like former retired military generals that generally become secretaries of defense. And this guy was not even close to that. So it's going to be a shit show in the Department of Defense for the next 4 years. This dude's going to get fucking in there. I can't believe like the justification for like the fucking representatives justifying this dude, like all the allegations of coming in drunk and like that he got fired for shit and like being drunk at work all the time and all this stuff. One of the senators later was like, "Oh, which one of you? I know some of you people sitting on this thing have shown up drunk. So like, okay, just because you do the bad behavior, though, doesn't mean you should just be okay with someone else doing it, all right? Especially someone, yeah, listen, you're just a senator, you come and vote and shit, but you're not like running shit, all right? You're just like voting on things and like whatever. I think you could probably be drunk fucking 80% of the time as a U.S. senator or House of or a representative, right? I think you can get away with it. I'm sure alcoholism does run rampant because you probably just party all the time and, whatnot. But like, you're not actually really running things. So not that I'm saying I'm okay with it, but I'd be willing to look the other way on that. But a dude who's actually in charge of shit, we can't be having that. He literally told them, I will quit drinking when I get confirmed as the Secretary of Defense. That's what he said. You know who says that? Alcoholics say that. I will stop when I get this. Oh, no, you won't. No, you fucking won't. I hope he does press conferences drunk as fuck sometime. I hope we get to see that. This is kind of turning into Idiocracy again. Like, and so
shit, dude, this Pam Bondi chick is kind of concerning. I don't know if you had anything more to add.
No, not on this guy, but go. We'll talk about her real quick because we'll throw her into
she registered as a foreign agent to fucking Qatar.
Yeah,
for work related to anti-human trafficking efforts to leading into the World Cup. So that is that's interesting.
Yeah, and when they asked her some questions about, again, the thing about following orders or whatever, and she basically did the same thing. She's like, well, I mean, he's not going to give me an illegal order, so why would he? Nothing he could say would be illegal. So okay, makes sense, I guess.
Yeah,
we're all on this. Oh, we can't do anything illegal train. One of the interesting ones is Tulsi Gabbard is slotted to be, or she was nominated to be the secretary of, or the head of director of national intelligence, or
she was a former Democrat, wasn't she? She flipped sides. What state did she represent? I forget. Is it
Hawaii?
Hawaii, yeah.
And so she, director of national intelligence is what she's going to be, what she was nominated for. And her hearing isn't even scheduled yet because there's a problem with the Senate Division of Ethics that does, and her FBI background check. And one of the reasons for that is because during the Bashar al-Assad regime in Syria, she was very pro Bashar al-Assad, and so much so that she would go there, she was very pro them. And there's these I don't know if they're allegations or this stuff that's come up where like she's taken money from them, and so they're like,
you're kind of a foreign agent there, buddy.
We can't clear your background check. So they're claiming that the people that want her in are saying, oh, it's just a paperwork issue, is what they're saying. It's just the paperwork. Well, ain't nobody else had no paperwork issues. Ain't nobody else was also very, and one of the things that was very funny, even up until the Syrian regime ending, the al-Assad regime ending, she was very fucking cozy with them and saying how, oh, we need to support them and blah, blah, blah. And as soon as he got ousted, they took her off of everything. Like, she did not, because it was like she was going and pumping him up, and then he gets overthrown like the next day. And then she just disappeared from everything. She stopped making these appearances. They pulled her off all the fucking media train, and they just were like, okay, fuck it. We're still going to try to jam her through. Because again, I think she's one of those people, and I'm not saying, I don't want to like disparage people in the military just to disparage people in the military. But when you go through that, there is, no one can tell me I'm wrong on this, there is an indoctrination period. It's literally called indoctrination. Like, that's what it's fucking called. Like, when you go in to your basic officer course, there's an indoctrination period, right? And same thing with basic training. It's all indoctrination. And so you're being indoctrinated to follow orders and just do what the fuck you're told. So Trump picking a lot of these people that were, veterans and things like that had been in and done things, it feels really like a stealth way for him to be like, cool, I'm going to have people that are pre-programmed to follow orders from the president of the United States without question. And cool, now I'm president of the United States. Because generally, most of these jobs are held by civilians for the most part. Like, people that weren't really ever in the military, with the exception of the Secretary of Defense. But that's obvious why you want a former general or somebody, not some asshole who was a major in the fucking Army National Guard. But regardless, Tulsi Gabbard's shit's not even fucking scheduled. So I kind of feel like the way that they were doing this is, okay, the first three we're gonna throw up. Let's throw up Pete Hegseth first. Let's throw him to the wolves because that's gonna probably be a problem. But we'll get it passed. We'll get the circus acts over first. Marco Rubio, I mean, say what you want about him. I do think that he will probably try to do the job well, regardless of the fact that, I think he's, out of all the people that Trump has probably nominated, he's probably the most qualified to be in charge of anything.
For what reason? Because I don't really know all that much about Marco.
Because he was a senator. He was on like the foreign affairs committees, and like he has experience like doing this shit. So, I think that at least he kind of has the knowledge base at the very least. Whereas I feel like these other fools really don't have the knowledge base, and they're just being thrown in because it's like you're gonna do what I say type of deal. And sure, fucking what's his name? RFK is RFK Jr. is a very strange fucking pick for Health and Human Services. I think Trump is just like, hey, this guy's crazy. Let's just put him in his own little world, let him do whatever the fuck he wants, where he can't fuck with our shit that we're trying to do. Because if you also notice too, who's going to be at the fucking inauguration, it's going to be, well, you know what? We'll talk about that because I think that's related to this fucking TikTok ban. I feel like that's part of it. But we're in for a very crazy time. There's also a lot of weird rumors floating around on like social media and stuff that there's a threat to the inauguration, like Trump's gonna get like another assassination attempt. And now that he's like gonna be in, it's gonna be like a Palpatine situation where he's gonna be like, the attempt of my life has left me scarred and broken, but my resolve has never been greater.
See, why even announce it then if it's gonna be an actual attempt?
I don't think anyone knows. I think that people are just saying like, oh, they feel like there's
something's gonna happen.
Yeah, like it's just that people are just have this feeling like, oh, because there's a lot of people saying that they're Trump supporters and they're all like, man, we're very concerned and we don't think Trump should do the walk. We think he should stay in the car the whole time. And I'm like, why are all these people saying this? That's very strange. Like, why are they putting that out there? Like, is something gonna happen? I don't know. I mean, also he is close to 70 or 80, so like he probably shouldn't do the walk anyways because like he might have a heart attack on his way up there because he's old and all that fucking McDonald's and Coca-Cola he fucking drinks. But anyways, these assholes will get fucking confirmed, I'm sure. I believe they already all have enough votes anyways, and so it's just a matter of time before the shit happens. And I guess we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, the inauguration is coming up in just a few days, 4 days on Monday. So we'll do an episode next week talking about that.
I think I'm going to pass on that one. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just somebody that lives here now. After the 20th, don't give a fuck, dude.
After the 20th, I just
said it
here.
Before, dude. I
don't know.
Reality is now subjective.
True.
Perhaps even left-leaning to some people. And I'm not down with it, man. I mean, we used to have something of a consensus of what was happening in life. Like all together, we could all agree that the color blue is blue, or that the sun is the center of the solar system. Now it's like I don't even think half the people in the world believe that shit. And maybe just even the United States. Maybe we just talk about the United States by itself.
Yeah.
But if people are choosing their own realities, dude, then fucking so am I, dude. And
good call.
I'm just, I don't really give a shit what happens. I mean, like I said, we're still going to do this shit.
Oh, yeah, of course.
We're still going to.
Well, until they send the National Guard to kill us, but, you know.
Whatever, dude. Whatever. I mean.
I just hope we can live stream it on YouTube.
It's like that fucking V for Vendetta thing, dude. As long as you have an inch of yourself, like, if you don't give up that 1 inch,
yeah,
you're immortal, dude.
Yep, true story.
I'd rather die fucking staying true to my own personal values and beliefs than fucking. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. What I was gonna say too is that I feel like this is very like V for Vendetta-esque happen. This is the beginning of like the government like forming. This is very much what it's like. Very similar to the way shit goes down. So, I don't know. I guess we'll see what happens. But anyways, all right. Well, we'll do that fucking TikTok thing on the next episode because I do have quite a bit to say about that. I think I can carry a whole episode on that.
All right, we'll see.
So anyways, all right. Go to Game Rage Magazine on the stuff. You know what? Fuck. I'm not even going to. Fucking nobody's probably listening at this point, 30 minutes in. So if you listened this far, you were probably following us already. So there's no point in me fucking doing it. All right. Go to do the thing. What am I doing? What thing am I? Oh, all right, whatever. I don't know.
Man out the big bed. Game Rage Magazine.
Man,
we got podcasts.
We got podcasts 9 days out of the week.